Okay, welcome back to page 2 of the Algebra 2 review for the second assessment. We're going to start on number 9. We're trying to find the slope of each line and write that slope as a value m. So when we look at this first one here, number 9, we have this blue line which represents a line, and we need to find the slope. And if we remember, slope is rise over run. And in this case, we always go, not in this case, we always go from left to right. So I'm going to start at this point, and I'm going to look and draw myself a line and see how far up did I go. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's positive because I went up and I went over 1. So what is my slope here? It's just very simply so the slope is 8. It was 8 over 1, and we know that that can be reduced to 8. In the second example, number 10, we start at this point, and we go over to this one. And the same thing, I like to kind of draw a dashed line that comes down, and then over, and then see how far. So again, from left to right, I went down between the 2 points. So I went down 1, 2, 3. We show that as -3 over, and when we went right, we went 1, 2, 3, 4. And our slope is -3/4. Okay, for number 11 and 12, we have a similar problem where we have to find the slope, but we also then need to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So the first step is to simply find the slope, and I'm going to do that by finding 2 points where the line crosses 2 grid lines. And so if I start with this point right here, and I can go up, that's a perfect point as well there, where it crosses. And our slope, as we saw in 9 and 10, is up 2 over 1. So our slope is 2 over 1, which can be expressed as simply 2. And then the slope-intercept form of the equation is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. And in this case, when we say y-intercept, we mean where does this blue line, our line, cross the y-axis? And that happens right about here. And that intercept then is -1, 2, 3, 4. So if we write the equation of the line, I'll do that in blue, I suppose. Y equals, we knew our slope was 2, x, and we're crossing at -4. All right, in number 12, we're going to pick 2 points again to find our slope. I like this one, and I would say this point right here, because they cross exactly at the intersection of these 2 grid lines. So when we look at that, we're going down 2, and we're going over 3. So my slope is -2 over 3. And my y-intercept, right here, which was up 1, 2, 3, 4. So our equation of our line, y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. Okay, so for the rest of page 2, numbers 13, 14, 15, 16, we're not looking at the graphs anymore. We're just looking at the coordinates and the slope if we're given it. So I want to remind you that it's asking us to do this in point slope form, which you'll remember is y minus y1 equals slope times x minus x1. So in this case, it's pretty straightforward. We are given a point and a slope, so we're just going to plug that in. This I'm going to call, I should change back to that, x1, and this is y1. I'm going to plug it in. Y minus y1, which is negative 1, equals slope times x minus x1. And as you will recall, when we did minus minus, when it's addition or when it's subtraction, those just become positive. So I'm going to rewrite this, and this will be our final answer. Y plus 1 equals 5/3 x plus 3. I'm going to pause and let you work on that. You should get the same answer. I mean, not the same answer, but the same type of answer through the same work. We've given a point and a slope. The only difference is this number in front is not negative, so that actually will come out negative over here. When you're ready, after you've tried this, you can pause the video, and then after you've tried this, come back and I'll show you. We can check to see if you got it right. Okay, so hopefully when you labeled this one, you saw that this was x1, this was y1. Make that look more like an x. And when you went to plug that in, you just said negative 5, y minus negative 5 equals slope x minus 3. Change those both to positive. Y plus 5 equals negative 7/2 x minus 3. Done. Good. I hope you got that one right. All right, well, that'll be the end of page 2. If you're going to move on to 15 and beyond, you can, oh yeah, take it back. We're still on page 2. Hang in there with me. All right, 15 and 16 are similar to 13 and 14, except you were not given the slope this time. We're only given 2 points, and we need to find the slope. So I'll remind you that this is the equation to find slope. Change in y over change in x, or y2 minus y1 over m2 minus, x2 minus x1. Let's work through this first one. To find that slope, we're going to do this equation first. Let's go ahead and label those points. Better do that in another color. We'll call that x1, y1, x2, y2. And then we're just going to plug those into that equation, find ourselves the slope. go -1 minus -5 over 0 minus 3. Remember, minus minus becomes plus, so that becomes 4 over -3, or just -4/3. That's our slope. Now we pick a point and do what we did on 13 and 14. I'm going to use this point. You could use this one, doesn't really matter. Y, I should change it, minus y1 equals slope x minus 3. Obviously, be careful to be sure you use, if you're using this y value, using this x value. You don't want to jump back and forth between your 2 points. Simplify the y minus 5 minus -5 to be y plus 5. So our final answer here will be, I'm cheating right over here. I'll go back to green. Y plus 5 equals -4/3 x minus 3. All right, same thing on number 16. Why don't you try that yourself? Put me on pause, and then when you're ready to come back, I'll have worked through the answer here for you. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you worked through this one and got an answer that makes sense to you. I'm going to work through this one now. Find my slope first. So I have a slope of 7/9. I'm going to pick this point. You could use the other one, doesn't matter. Y minus -4, so y minus y1 equals slope times x minus x1. Both of these are going to change to positive. Y plus 4 equals 7/9 x plus 5. And that one's finished. This is this one. This one's this one. All right, and that concludes page 2. So if you want to go on to page 3, look for the next video. Thanks, bye.